Assalamu alaikum fam, hope you're doing well. So, one of the reasons why I think it's very, very important for women to focus on security is because there will be times when your partner is not there to protect you. And I think it's very important that the Muslim community and women in general be very wary of the weakness that comes from the liberal culture in America, where there is these sort of hyper-dependency upon government, electricity, the grid, shaming of the police ironically, but then not shaming them and calling them for everything. And then this sort of nonchalant way of existing in the city and making excuses for the crime that occurs. Like how Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, they just want bread. And how Ilhan Omar defunded her police and then complained that the Minneapolis Police Department wasn't doing their job. And she was shocked that crime skyrocketed. Her, Rashida Tlaib, and even Cori Bush, for example, just to give you another one, she wanted to defund police while she has very, very expensive private security, and she gets protected, but she advocates for mothers to be less protected. And to those progressives, aka the squad, that is a good thing. That there are less police around to protect women, and they demonize all legal gun owners who enjoy having a tool that they can use to defend themselves against drug addicts who are hallucinating, drug addicts who need to steal something so they can go buy more drugs because they are utterly depraved because they have given up on having a legitimate job and instead steal, rob, snatch, anything they can, so that they can sell it to then buy their narcotics. Now, we know that liberals want to legalize, tax, and regulate all drugs, which means there will logically be more addicts, and addicts cannot control what they do. They have a huge chemical imbalance, and their personality completely changes, and eventually they're going to run out of money to buy their drugs, and they're going to resort to crime. And this is going to mean we're going to have a very difficult time, especially if they advocate defunding police more and sending social workers. A social worker cannot stop somebody high on meth who has a dagger and is, running around his house trying to freak his neighbors out. Social worker cannot talk to someone who is high and out of their mind. It's quite difficult. Have you ever tried to argue with someone who's drunk? You just have to wait till the morning and hope that their hangover has calmed them down. So clearly, a lot of these softer city liberals who are into their air-conditioned office, kind of lack muscles, despise farmers and raw living, really shame people for not being in a classroom all day. They have a very smug, hierarchical elitism that comes from the coastal elites, the aka laptop class. They are advocating for things they won't feel as quickly as the most vulnerable who have to walk in the streets, who have to live in the already defunded neighborhoods where there's not, too much help for mothers who are tired of crime. So, if you would like to educate yourself on how to properly use the Second Amendment, there are wonderful courses you can look up and plenty of legitimate, honorable clubs that you can join who will teach you everything that you need to know. You can also take the Hunter Safety class, and that's online, very worth the price, and you learn so many cool things that will actually make you have a much deeper respect for such tools. Now, you may be asking, why is this necessary? I would say don't take your safety for granted, and stop fetishizing being a victim. Stop thinking that being weak is noble, because it's not. And you should want to defend yourself and to defend your community from violent, vicious, degenerate, horrific criminals. A criminal, more often than not, is not going to have the same mercy that you imagine in your head. Tears that fall on your cheeks will not move this criminal who really needs that next drug hit because he's utterly addicted, and if he has a very safe facility that sells him his products, well, he knows he needs to go there before it closes and get some drugs and shoot up, snort up, whatever he has to do. And he knows if he robs you, he can get that. And he doesn't have to spend 7-8 hours at a job when he can just take what you have. Now, other leftists have said you should just give it to them, it's not worth your life. But once you allow a criminal to rob you once, they'll recognize your face, where you live, your patterns. Second time, third time, fourth time. How many times are you going to allow them to rob you? And maybe the fourth time, the criminal is going to want to take more and really harm you. Either way, you need to have something for when a criminal leaps at you, because you'll only be able to call officers after something has happened. This isn't called being paranoid, but rather proactive about your safety and about your children's safety, because you don't know when something's going to happen. Think about the brave women who used to walk in the safari, many still do actually, who had a sword, a dagger, bows and arrows, something while their baby was on their back, and went to go collect whatever they had to collect, berries, go fishing, some even hunted. Whatever they had to do, they had to bring their baby with them, and they had to make sure they kept the predators at bay. Well, today, in the modern era, we have less animal predators and more human predators. And we know times are getting tougher now because of how many governors destroyed their economy and didn't actually have a legitimate plan to rebuild. So property taxes, all kinds of things change, and there's been a huge drain on local communities, and more people are desperate and they want their old life back, and they're choosing crime. However that crime expresses itself, you have to be prepared for, and being a responsible, educated gun owner is something that can keep you alive, your children alive, and your community safe. It's not noble to be weak. It's not noble and honorable to pretend like crime could never happen to you, as if you're some sort of princess, as if everyone else deserves to be tested by crime, but you're the untouchable one. No. In fact, it's the people who let their guard down who often get targeted the hardest. Now, if I were you, I'd say to an instructor, can you teach me? Can you help me? Can you educate me? If you know a former veteran, you can ask them. There's a lot of people who are more than willing to teach you everything you need to know about gun safety, what kind of bullets there are, what kind is best for you, and maybe you might even learn to go hunting, which is quite fun. Quite good meat. Definitely better tasting than what you get from a factory farm. So, the Second Amendment is a very powerful tool that helps keep women safe from criminals. Conservative women, many of them, are very pro-gun. They recognize that a mother has a duty to protect her honor and her family, just as much as the man has that capacity and duty, but he might be at work when something happens. Criminals don't just strike in the night. Sometimes they'll strike in the day. And your door, how many times would it take for them just to kick it in and the hinges come off? or the door bolt bust off. A lot of the doors are made in China from very cheap wood, by the way. And how many of your neighbors would actually hear or call or get involved? So, educate yourself today, be responsible, and you'll see a big change in the way you sleep at night, the way you feel, and how less afraid you'll be. It is quite a beautiful right that we have in the United States that liberals and Democrats desperately want to take away by any means necessary. And they'll create any narrative and use any person as a scarecrow to get people to give up their rights that they'll never get back. Look at how the poor victims in Mexico, they are all against the cartels, trying their best, but the corrupt police and the corrupt soldiers oftentimes are paid by the cartels to stand out. So in that situation, you have the government and the cartels going together against the people. And the people are left to their own devices to defend their families and their daughters and their sons from the most depraved. Liberals will tell you that can never happen here. We can never be like them. Yet they have open borders to where they're actively importing those kinds of people, and they listen to musicians who are braggers of that criminal, thuggish lifestyle. So, be wise, protect your family, and don't be naive. Don't pretend you're some special princess who everyone's going to protect and that God will never test you. Children probably suffer worse than you already right now. So never be so arrogant as to say that no crime could happen to you. You want to be brave when you're attacked, not fall on the ground and whimper. Educate yourself today and see the changes in your behavior. And exercise your right while we still have it.